And you're a radical. Is this the first time in Big Sky history? There's no doubt in my mind. Absolutely no doubt. Was shameful. Not by Big Sky, by the NFL. Not one single player, not one in the Big Sky drafted. Not one. First time in history, I'm sure. It blows my mind when the Big Sky is performing better in the NFL than in the history of the Big Sky. In the history of the NFL. Let's see, Rashid Shaheed, Big Sky on this field. Teron Johnson, highest paid nickelback in the history of the NFL. Big Sky, this field. Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, Big Sky. I mean, I'm blown away. Now, Winston Reed signed a contract with the Cleveland Browns. Noah Taggy from Weber State got an invite to go to the Bears camp. Eddie Heckard, who's playing at BYU, played here. He's got an invite for the Broncos. I still haven't heard anything on Maxwell Anderson, but it blows my mind. Now, is it collusion? Well, I'm just going to quote Deion Sanders. If you think I'm full of shit, by the way, the track team has a thrower here who's got a chance at the Olympics. Speaking of Olympics, Rudy Gobert, Jazz trade him. You remember that classic game in Japan, in Tokyo? Damian Lillard, Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert could not make a free throw. Well, I think Rudy Gobert might win the NBA championship this year. Lillard got hurt. You know, my God. I mean, the luck. So, hopefully Dylan Jones fares well. I think he'll feel a little well. So, even that great wide receiver, Idaho, that dude's something else. I mean, he's a Cooper Kupp type. Hayden. He didn't even get drafted. Speaking of Weber State football, Abraham Williams, I see Idaho gave him one of the spring player, right at the top, awards. Maxwell Anderson was invited to the 49ers, local camp. I mean, let's just pause for a minute. Think what these players are doing in the NFL. I mean, think about it. Rashid's a track guy, right? Oh, boy. So is Abraham Williams. So, just recent players here, Big Sky. Again, Teron Johnson, I can't overstate this. He's the highest paid nickelback in the history of the NFL. Right here, Big Sky. Rashid Shaheed is probably the most electric, dynamic. The first time in history that a player makes the Pro Bowl and he's undrafted and he's making the league minimum. Okay, Jonah Williams, who's playing for the Vikings now. Rams. Opeta, who played for the Eagles, who's now playing for Tampa Bay. These are all players right here recently. Big Sky, Big Sky. And this is just one school. I mean, I cannot believe it. I watch these athletes at this level. I call it the best kept secret in sport. I am blown away. So I'm training. I'm getting ready to go back. My gold medal right here. That tie pull jumping, Bob Beeman Blanch. That's what I do. Training at the La Jolla Monterey Training Facility. So our Olympic committee on the dead tide pull jumping, the chairman said he's getting ready to make my other gold medal if I win it. It's in Paris. Now think about that. Paris. We got a thrower here that's got a chance at the Olympics. I remember when I was a kid, I ran the half mile, but I used to have to go against Ed Eyestone himself. He ran it, Bonneville, I ran at Weber, Walquist, T.H. Bell. Talking about Olympics, the two marathon 1-2. They're both here from here. They're local, Utah. They're Ed Icestone's runners. That legendary track program at BYU, but I'm blown away. I thought for sure Maxwell Anderson would go in the draft because of TJ. Their numbers are so similar, their style is so similar. I mean, of course, then Winston Reed, I bet he did get a contract. Now, does it matter if you get drafted? Well, I don't know. Because let's think about this. I don't know. Opeta wasn't drafted. Rashid Shaheed wasn't drafted. Jonah Williams wasn't drafted. Winston Reed not drafted. Cooper Kupp was drafted. I think like 139th or something. TJ from here was drafted really late. But all my years here at Weber State, I can never remember a year at the Big Sky never had a player drafted. I can never remember it. I'm sure this is a first. Now again, don't take my word for it. You take Deion Sanders. Remember Walter Payton's school? Well, Deion Sanders coached at this level. He don't now. He's Colorado. He said it's NFL collusion to steal players. Again, Rashid Shaheed could be the most lightning dynamic player in the NFL right now. Well, threw at the first pitch of the the Padres game. So I see one of the wide receivers, the other wide receiver up in Idaho, signed he got an invite to the Saints. Rashid can coach him, help him out. I mean, it blows my mind. As well as these players have done in the NFL, as great, Bland, Cowboys, that dude's a superstar. He's unbelievable. He's a Big Sky guy. He played at Sac State before he transferred, but still, what the hell's going on? I don't get it. I don't get it, And it isn't like the NFL wasn't aware. I went to Pro Day. You should have seen it in there. I never seen so many NFL in my life, and I go to Pro Day every year. I never seen so many. So, anyway, I guess, like Maxwell told me, just get your foot in the door. I hope he gets an invite to someone. Maybe TJ can talk to the Bills and say, hey, get this guy a look, man. I mean, he's that good. And as well as, I thought for sure, how long can the NFL continue to ignore Weber State players? Jay Hill players. Oh, so an update, Eddie Heckard here. He at BYU now, he got an invite to the Broncos. So, but wow. All these players from his program, from the Big Sky, doing so well in the NFL, and they're still going to ignore them? Well, Deion Sanders says it's so they can steal them. They can get them for chump change. Well, you know how much Rashid Shaheed would be making right now if he was a drafted player under a guaranteed NFL contract with the 2 seasons he's had? I mean, my God, first touch, he'd be making $20, $30 million a year. He's making less than $1 million a year. He's on his last, that 2-year deal they put, did you know there's a 3rd-year clause in there? Which I didn't know. I thought he had the 2-year deal, and then I found out the clause. So he'll become a free agent after this year, and then, look out. That dude, whoa. I look for him to have a monster year this year. So they got a new offensive coordinator. So, I hope that Lillard can play tomorrow night and they can come back from that 3-1 deficit. But that trade for Rudy, well, and Donovan Mitchell also, my God. Wow. The Jazz, pitiful, actually. So, I guess we'll just wait for Dylan Jones coming up in the draft in the NBA. So, it's historic what's happened. And is the talent level down in the Big Sky? No, the talent level is up. That's my point, which I can't believe. The talent level is actually rising. Yet, first time in Big Sky football history, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember. Not one single player. My God. You know, go Winston with the Browns. We'll see how that plays out. Go Noah Toggy, you know, make that Bears team. Make Steve Klauke happy. He does the play-by-play here. He's a hardcore Bears fan. So, first time in history. Wow. All right, we'll see. Stay tuned.